everybody, it's the Warhipster here, and I am of course joined by Adam from ADR Wargaming and Rich from Reza Prime, and we are very excited because today is episode 1, chapter 1 of A Tale of Many Warhipsters. I was going to say many Warhipsters, but that's not the name. It's just A Tale of Many Warhipsters.
Too many Warhipsters.
There's too many! They're everywhere! They're a contamination. They're a plague. So, I think I just received a text message, so that's probably what we might just hear in a second. But anyway, yeah, we're very excited because we've got loads and loads of hobby to get through. Adam, Rich, you've both had extremely productive months. I've seen your stuff. I know everyone else is really excited to see your stuff. How are you both?
I'm good, thank you. I'm very excited to see what everybody's been up to and get the painting juices flowing or watching. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm good. Rich can keep juices to yourself, mate.
Right.
You know, no, I'm kidding. I'm really excited to see, what people have done and what people put together. That will no doubt put whatever I've dipped mine in null oil and just left them on a shelf, put that to shame. No, I am genuinely very excited to see what people have done and hear some of the background stuff as well, some of the fluff.
Yes, there's loads. There is so much to get through. It's all fantastic as well. I've been watching it trickle in over the month, and I've just been getting really excited to film this video with you guys because I know I'm going to blow your tiny minds and blow some other tiny minds out there, and also possibly blow some large minds. There's going to be a lot of minds that get blown.
Any minds, large and small.
I'm going to blow all minds, great and small. We're not going to sing because then we get demonetized, and that would be bad. So, are you guys ready? We're gonna
Absolutely.
We're gonna dive right in. We're gonna be hardcore. So, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A Tale of Many Warhipsters, Chapter 1. Go. And here we are. First off, Reza, I'm sorry, but you got your pictures in first. Actually, you got your pictures on day 1. So you went in the PowerPoint first. So talk us through what you've done.
So these are the start to my 95th rifles. So on the screen right now, you've got my flag bearer. He's got the 95th rifles. Actual was not the actual flag, but I managed to get a copy of it, and then I managed to glue it onto the standard bearer.
I mean, if you haven't got the actual 10-foot high flag from 200 years ago, then what are you really doing?
That's hanging off my house. It's on a pole off my house. Then I've got some ball grins, which I'm particularly proud of because I tried to get their hats to look quite similar to what my infantry guys would be, and they come up quite goofy, but I think it fits a ball grin. So yeah, the hats are green stuff. My first time ever using green stuff. And I'm quite happy how they've come out. I'm quite cool. I'm excited to actually use them on the table because they look like they just yanked some door off a tank and just using them as a shield.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, it's slab shield, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And talk us through some of these painting recipes that you've done here, because I want to know how you did that flesh.
The flesh. So oh god, this is going back a while now. So one of them's good. So the one on the furthest left of the ball grin's Guilliman flesh, with its types of highlights on there. The one in the middle, which you can't quite see, I think I did Fire Slayer flesh to make it look a little bit different, and then the darker skin tone I think is Wildwood. You'll know better than me. I can't remember, it's so long ago. I think I used Wildwood. I just wanted them to be a bit different and have more skin tones across the army. And also a lot of the infantry army are going to be mixed between women and men. So it's all. I'm not going to do it like everybody. I mean, if you look at people's armies, sometimes you just find like everybody's just gone Guilliman flesh over everything. But I want it to be quite diverse. So that was the thought process behind it.
I like the red on the belt.
Yeah, I like the thought process. That's just to tie it in with the rest of the red coats.
Yeah,
I did have an idea of trying to green stuff their like tops to be like they're bursting, like it's like they just grew and then like the Hulk when he goes bigger. But I'm not quite that talented at green stuffing, so I just decided I'll do the hats.
I think they look really good.
Just hard enough.
They do. They look awesome.
I really like them. I think they look really good.
They're awesome, and you've also got some more.
Yes.
What were you going to say, Adam? Before we move on,
I'm quite excited by them.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I just think they really they stand out nicely on the battlefield, and the little helmets on the Bullgrins especially. I just think they're really cool. I like the way you got the little the crest, like the what's the name for that? I don't know what the actual technical name for that is, but the sort of the Fusiliers have the little sort of feather crest on the hat.
It's awesome.
It's awesome.
They were a pain in the ass to stick on. There we go. So I've got on the left I've got the heavy weapons team. So they've got their blue tunics because back in the Napoleonic times, the artillery uniform for the British Army was blue uniforms. Then you've got the boy Sharp in the middle, who I'm particularly proud of. He's probably one of the best things I painted because he actually has a face rather than not looking like this. Like normally when you paint faces,
one eye going
so
one way, one eye going the other way. Yeah, that's what I was in.
I'm really happy that, and that was so I converted it from a commissar. So I say converted, I literally just did a head swap and chopped a couple bits off. So but yeah, so it was the commissar you get in the start collecting box, which I put managed to find a pretty good head for Sharp, and then did a lot of shaving because it's resin and to get it to the right size. Stuck it on there, and then it just fit perfectly with the green uniform, the high black boots. The sword looks amazing because he has a really cool sword in the program, and he's standing on an orc head because why not?
He looks awesome. He looks very sharp. Like he looks like he's saying "Go on, you bastards!" So that was a terrible, terrible Sean Bean impression. But as he does in the TV show.
And I love that you've got the long arm on the back.
Oh yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so I mean, it wouldn't be Sharp if he didn't have his rifle nearby. So he's got his long arm ready to hit someone with a las gun and not do a lot, but he's ready. And then you've got his boss on the right, which is Lord Wellington, who's the general of my army. He's actually a what do you call it? The artillery commander officer.
Master of Ordnance.
Master of Ordnance. Yeah. So that's what he will do on the table. But he is Sharp's boss, so he'll be at the back telling the basilisk or manticore to shoot better, while Sharp goes up and slaps people in the head with his sword. But yeah, that's the boss. I'm quite happy how he came out. He's got the lovely blue tunic, and the hat, which I had to shave again to put on his bald head. So yeah. Quite cool. I like it, yeah.
It's awesome stuff. It's awesome stuff. Right. Thank you for that, Rich. What we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next one. And this is Adam.
My terrible photos.
So, I didn't really know what to put in your caption. So I went with every miniature ever.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I got quite a lot of stuff. I said in the previous video that I was going to paint my Trueborn, my Cabalite Trueborn, a unit thereof, and I could lie and tell you that I've done that, but I won't. I'm going to be honest. So I haven't finished the Cabalite Trueborn. I have, however, finished a unit of Cabalite Warriors, which are the guys in the picture on the sort of bottom left of the screen there, and they have this, I don't know, I think it's quite cool, kind of very dark red colour scheme, which I thought was just designed to make them look nice and evil, really. And they've got a lot of flayed skin cloaks, which is all very Drakari and evil. I also, in the available time, I finished up Kyria Draxus, who's the sort of one shown in the big picture. She's quite a fun model. She's obviously got her Eldari weapon. I can't remember the life of me. What is that called? It's not a splint cannon. That's a Drakari thing. What is that called? What is an Eldari, like the normal gun called?
Shuriken.
I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah, she's got her Shuriken. She's got her like pet dragon parrot thing. As you can see, sort of hovering behind her, there is a unit of Retrobeaters as well, which I think are going to be shown shortly. So I've got the whole like fat baby with wings, the cherubs, because the sisters obviously are sort of one of my main armies alongside the others. And I also, on the theme of sisters, finished up Kaiganil and Ephrael Stern, who are sort of shown in the top left there, as well as a random priest that I'd been meaning to finish for a while, or meaning to start for a while, and just put him together. A lot of browns on him, a lot of leather. But he's quite weird because I don't think he's wearing any pants, because there's a part, you can't see it in the photo, but there's a parting in his like cloak, and he's just got like one very muscular leg sticking out in a boot. So he's just this old man who's like basically walking around in a trench coat and killing people, but possibly also flashing them. It's a bit weird. But he's a priest model for my sister's army, and he is I want to say he is from what are they called? They're a Russian wargaming company. I can't remember for the life of me, which is terrible on stream. But he is a third-party model, so I can't take him to GW tournaments. But as I have alternate stand-in priests, but I just think he's a cool model to play with. And these are the Retrobeaters. So these are the squad of girls with big guns, in this case melters. I already had one squad of these guys, wanted another. There's been some changes to the Sisters Codex, and a lot of people who have like 3 squads of these are very upset. I just think they're awesome, and they're a real good unit in the game, and they're a cool way to play with them, because what's cooler than a battle sister wielding a giant multi-melter coming at you? And you can also see in the back there the Gemini Superior. This is quite a fun one, and very much born out of the changes to the Sisters Codex that have happened recently, because previously you could take Celestine on her own, and the Gemini were like a separate unit, so I sort of had built them and had painted a little bit on the basing work, but had never really finished them, and never really had the time to use them. But now Celestine and the Gemini come as a single unit and have to be taken as a single unit, and they are like 200 points, but they're really good. So I decided to finish them up, and now there is a complete unit. There's also some mandrakes hovering in the back there behind the sort of Kabalite warrior you can see on the right hand side of the screen. So I did those as well. So this goes to Josh's point about every miniature ever. I think mandrakes are really cool. I don't know if do you guys know the fluff about mandrakes? Like they're for the Dark Eldar. So the mandrakes like live in this so they're like these kind of shadow assassins, and even by the standards of the Drakari, they're like pretty odd. They live in this kind of alternate dimension realm within the city of Comera called, or linked to the city of Comera, called Aelendrak. And no one really knows what they are. They're not necessarily Dark Eldar, but they're not like creatures of the warp, and they literally emerge out of shadows. Like that's the whole thing about them. They get used as assassins. Because if there's a shadow in your room, one of these guys could just pop out of it and murder you, and that's it. And the Drakari make pacts with them to use them on their raids and use them against other Drakari as well. And they have these like icy breath as well that they can do, which in the game translates into like you can scout deploy them. They're pretty good in combat. They have like an assault attack as well, which represents this kind of icy breath. So they're kind of a cool, like freaky ghost elf unit, which is nice in 40k. And yeah, you can see one of the Kabalite warriors there as well. To my point, with his like nice skin.
Really, it's like we said about the red with my Bullgrin. Like the way you've done the red highlights on their armor really makes them.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, so they're actually based on.
You talk about your bases for your sisters. I love your bases. They're so.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so they're all supposed to be kind of, I guess, defending the convent from people. So I've got my whole sisters army uses like resin bases with a black and white kind of checkerboard pattern, and then like little metallic details on them as well. I was just going to say actually on the Kabalite, fun, slightly nerdy fact. Did any of you guys watch Stargate at all back when you were a bit younger, when it was still on? The old anyone watch that Stargate?
No, I
no.
know.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I was going to say. So in Stargate, one of the bad guys, one of the Goa'uld, this kind of bad guys who were Egyptian gods. He was the sort of like the god of the underworld, and all of his soldiers, his Jaffa, were like in this kind of like red. All the others wore like just metal, and his were in this kind of really dark red metallic thing. And because he lived on this planet that was basically a representation of hell. Because obviously they posed as gods, right? So I sort of went with that again as like a bit of an inspiration for these Drakari. I'll also say one last thing, just because it's one of my favourite things ever, and one of the reasons I love the Sisters range. The Sister Superior, who you can see for the Retrobeaters, who stood next to the Cabalites and just in front of the Mandrakes there, who's got the chainsword. You'll note she also has a book in her left hand, and she is. I love that because it's so representative of the nutty gothic madness that is the Sisters of Battle, and why I think they're one of the coolest sets of models in 40k. Because think about this, she is leading a squad of like heavy weapons specialist sisters on the battlefield, and her way of leading them is she's got like a Bible open and she's holding a chainsword in the air and she's reading bits from it and just screaming them at them, and they're going, that'll make me shoot better. So yeah,
it's not the instructions to the weapon, is it?
yeah.
It's the trigger.
Yeah, she's like, oh, there's a problem. Quick, flip to. Oh, this is in French. I'm in the wrong bit. No, she's so they're just such cool models, and I've got all of the new Sisters kit, and I am looking forward. Hopefully, that'll be my next stage. I'll get Morven Val done using Josh's excellent tutorial. Go to the Warhipster on YouTube to check it out, and yeah, like get them all up and running alongside these girls as well.
No, it's awesome. Right, thank you for that, Adam. You've been doing good, strong work.
Let's go on.
So.
Oh, hello.
Yes. Next up, we have @to the 40k Homeboy. I have no idea how to say it, but this is Alex, and he has painted Ulrich the Neotech on Grav Cutter.
I've got Green Goblin vibes.
Yeah, this is from what gang is this in Necromunda? I always forget which one. Van Sar, I see there.
Yeah. So what we've got here is he's given us some literature to read. So straight from the Underhive and currently on the Necromunda Radiation Tour, we have Ulrich the Neotech on Grav Cutter, one of the newest members of the Van Sar Grim Ethos gang. He is going to make sure that when they roll out, it'll always be raining blood. This emoji. Underhivers beware. This is my first ever outing with an airbrush, and I'm super pleased with how it turned out. Now that I've used it once, I can't believe I haven't been using it forever. I'm not sure how much information you want, but here's my paint recipe for this guy. So he's given full paint recipe breakdown here. So like, for example, the Grav Cutter itself, the base paints are Vallejo Black Primer, Stormhost Silver, Volupus Pink and Ironhand Steel. The damages and grime has been done with Rhinox Hide, and the highlight was Necron Compound. The Neotech itself was, again, Vallejo Black Primer and Incubi Darkness. It was shaded with some Druchii Violet, and then it was highlighted with Incubi Darkness, Sotek Green, a 4-2 mix, and Sotek Green and Necron Compound. The Energy Shield, which is, I think, has done a really absolutely awesome job on. It's been based with Corax White and then Stormhost Silver and Volupus Pink, and it's been highlighted with some Necron Compound, White Scars, and Ethermatic Blue. He's just done a fantastic job here, and what he's then also said is at the end of it, all of it was covered in a delicious coat of AK Interactive Streaking Grime for a unifying grim wash, which I then partially removed with Cotton Buds and White Spirit.
Oh, it's really cool. It's awesome.
It's incredible.
I'm always envious of people. Like, I have an airbrush and I do try and use it, but I am crap with it, and I need someone to teach me to airbrush properly, like especially for vehicles, for big vehicles. But like, yeah, this is amazing. This just shows you like what you can do. It's nuts.
It's fantastic, right?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's just all the layering. Like, it really brings it together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can really see the grime, like the grime dirty, like on the speeder of a, I don't know.
And on the base, like the aged metal, yeah. Like I would love to see Atto, if you're Atto, I'll call you Atto if you're watching the 40k Homeboy. If once you have your like whole gang together, it'd be so cool to see them all, because this color scheme is kind of grimy, like, but still, you know, got that kind of futuristic, like you say, with the Sotek green going on. Like, once they're all together, that's going to be so cool.
I'm just realising that I might have spelt his... yes, I have.
Is it Atom by any chance?
No, it is this, but I'll just edit it live now. There you go. So for those of you who want to find him...
I thought he was just saying...
I do
I thought you were
apologise.
just saving on characters there. Homeboy. He's actually a big fan of the chef Ken Hom. No, that's awesome. It looks really, really cool. I love it.
We're doing it live,
Nice
people.
work, man.
We're doing it live. Right, let's move on. So next up, we've got
Oh wow.
we've got Daniel Brunt. He's a friend of mine. He's doing Soulblight Gravelords.
Sick.
I don't quite know why this picture is up here. Let's just get rid of that. So we want to see the We're doing it live, people.
The mace has actually got other skeletons attached to the mace.
They look so clean, but not clean at the same time. If you know what I mean, they look like, I don't know how to even describe it. They look like really like crisp, but you can really get the scary skeleton-y feel.
Absolutely. So Dan has.
I like it though. I like it.
Yeah,
Go
no,
on.
I was just going to say, so Dan has said, I've been pretty hyped for the Gravelords since their announcements, and the updated and new sculpts have only cemented this excitement. I've always liked the idea of a relentless and implacable horde of corpses shambling across a moonlit plain, the mere sight of it striking terror in the hearts of the mortals they face, a grim vision of what awaits them. Monstrous creatures flying overhead, blotting out the moon as its heart stands, and at its heart stands a vampire general and their retinue relishing the fear the legions of undead brings. This is what originally attracted me to vampire counts when I was first starting out in the hobby, and now to the Gravelords. Although I'm not 100% decided on a bloodline yet, I'm currently leaning towards the Legion of Blood. I like lore around Neferata's more subtle approach to warfare, with more subterfuge and espionage. I have a vision of mist stalking across the battlefield to coalesce into a vampire and striking at the enemy's general at the heart of the army, which I have some ideas for making into a model into the future. And next month, after this, he will be doing some Black Knights. But these are just fantastic skeletons, right?
They look awesome. What I was going to say is they look. What I really like about them is, and it goes to your point, Reza, about them actually being quite clean. When you have undead stuff, and obviously I say this as a Death Guard player, so I love a bit of grime, and I've just praised Atto on his use of grime. But it is quite nice to see that these guys look like they've come out of like a well-preserved. I don't know how to say it, it's like they look like they've come out of like a mausoleum, right? They look like they've like when they find sort of treasures that have been buried for thousands of years, but actually they're quite, they're subject some dust. They're quite clean, and that's what's really beautiful about them. You see it's just that like the silver and gold on the light colors on the shield, the metallics, and the armor just looking clean. Yeah, it just looks so good. It looks really, really good when it's like all together. And that the highlighting on the cloaks or the undershirts that they've got, like it really makes it pop. They look really cool.
Am I right in thinking the reason that the undercoats are red is because it's like, from what I know from Total War, it's like the Empire soldiers when they like resurrect and get up. That's what the red cloaks are meant to, represent. Am I right?
Yeah, pretty much. So like
That's
the cloth is basically any of the cloth that they have is their former uniform.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
Man, they look very threatening. I would not want to be on a battlefield and these lads turn up. You'd be like, I mean, that effect that Dan's talking about with the sort of shambling horde of horrors. Yeah. Actually, do you know what? Actually, I say that it doesn't come across as shambling either. They're like well put together. They're like well drawn, which is actually even worse. Like a bunch of shambling zombie skeletons is like, okay, horrific, but I expect that. You know what they are? I don't know why I'm just making film references today. They are like, in The Mummy, the second one, The Mummy Returns. When he summons like that unit of mummy soldiers, and they just all like march in, and they move like mummies as well, but they also have implacable soldiery about them. That's what these guys are. They're just like a never-ending horde of unstoppable but like still well-drilled soldiery, which is very frightening. And they're dead.
Yeah, I can see that. Right. Let's move on now, because we've got Mr. Flashman Andy, who has painted a lot. It's similar to you, Adam. He's done Morven Vile and Vertigus scenery, and he's actually got some more after this. So this is Andrew, long-time supporter of the channel. He's an absolute top guy. He has said that he was only going to send one image as he was moving house, But after catching up on the video and then seeing the Patreon early access video that we had for Morven Val, he jumped straight into his first Sisters model and painted Morven Val, who will be leading the Bloody Rose in a holy crusade. He has got lots of models for Sisters, but in 4 months he had failed to paint one, so his main project is an SOB army. However, I have had a GSC force on the back burner for 19 months as a way to change things up when one army becomes too much. However, they are only 900 points, never played a battle and have not added to them in 2021. My original plan was to simply add to this force each month, so I painted some neophytes. It can be hard to motivate yourself to find several hours to paint 70 points of models, so he then painted five of his aberrants to keep the momentum going. He also found that he got highly distracted while trying to paint and needed something to get the brain engaged into hobby mode, so he also painted his new objective markers as well. So here we've got the Vertiger stuff and the Morven Val, and it looks unbelievably good.
It's so cool together.
It does look really, really cool. I love it.
Doesn't it just? And then we've also got all of this.
Bloody hell!
Yeah,
That's well good. I mean, Andy, you've done an amazing job, mate. But stick with Sisters, stick with the holy righteousness, not this 3-armed mutant nonsense, right? No, they all look really cool. They all look really cool. The aberrants look amazing, actually. Yeah. That kind of like sort of off pink. It looks suitably mutated.
Yes, definitely.
it looks wonderful. Well done, Andy. You and Adam are keeping pace.
Nice.
So, next up, we have Biltong Boob PNC _PNC with a Taurox Prime. This is Sean Madigan. He's currently working on his own guard project, the Praetorian Trading Company, a rogue trader-based army with the attachment of the 612th Praetorian Foot. A project he's really passionate about and wants to keep expanding. And this is his first unit right here, the Taurox Prime, and it looks absolutely stunning as a custom scheme. I love the multiple different tones of reds and purples, and with that kind of shock of yellow gold in there as well.
I'm actually playing him on the 4th of July.
Are you?
There we go.
We've been talking quite a lot about his trading company and with what I'm doing with my guards. So it's actually stunning to look at, to actually see what he's been doing in practice.
I love that burgundy. Like I really love the burgundy on his on the Taurox there. That's awesome. Like it's it does look, it does look very kind of, slightly gaudy, like as he says, like a rogue trader kind of trading company look to it. It looks really good. I love it.
Oh.
Whoa, hang on a second.
Oh yes.
It looks real.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh yes. The Bastiladon with solar engine. I think that's the right one. But I
think you're right.
God, Meg, it's unbelievable. Again, I've got some notes here. So, she said that I love painting in a naturalistic style, and I feel like Seraphon would give me a great opportunity to do this. I also prefer building and painting larger models, and after learning of the existence of the Stegageddon list, the opportunity to have an army made up purely of monsters is too good an opportunity to miss. This list may have to be altered for AOS 3, of course, but the plan at the moment is a Stegadon with Skink Chief, 2 Engine of the Gods, 4 Stegadon, 1 Bastiladon with Solar Engine, and then maybe something like Croak to fill it out. This lovely gentleman, however, is based on a green sea turtle, and the skinks are based on blue-tongued skinks. I also cut up and rearranged some aquarium plants for the base, which I think has worked quite nicely. I wanted him to look like he was walking through a muddy jungle, and I wanted the plants to look almost carnivorous, what with AOS 3 being set in Gur and all.
I mean, what do you say?
It literally looks like he put a dinosaur shell on a turtle. It looks amazing.
I mean, like I've dived with green sea turtles, and like that is just bang on. Like it's just nuts, like how accurate that is. Honestly, Meg, like I'm genuinely I'm a bit blown away by how good the like how long must that have taken as well on each individual panel to kind of get that naturalistic layering. Like that's crazy. That's crazy good.
The thing that
I'd
I
love to know how
find
you did that.
the thing that I find really staggering about it is if you look around the face.
Yeah, the
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just doing that. I'm just like pointing to my beard. No, but like yeah, like around the edge of the mouth, like where you can see the like the flesh underneath the kind of more leathery facial skin, I guess, underneath the armor. Yeah, I mean even the skin as well. Like what color is that? Just like a black or is it just like a very dark green? It's just brilliant.
It's
The whole
amazing,
thing's
right?
popped. It just pops really nicely.
Words don't do it justice.
No,
No,
just looking at it,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
isn't it just
And
right?
even like the crystal on the gold bit at the top, like we're so amazed at the dinosaur. The crystal was gorgeous
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
and the skinks as well, and the sort of like the skinks on top.
No, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work there, Meg. I
Wow.
can't wait to see more dinosaurs and also what turtles you might be basing them on or other lizards. Right, next up we have a Beastclaw Raiders Stonehorn Beast Riders.
That's well cool.
Now this is from my friend Chris, Grim Harkness. For this year's Tale of Many Warhipsters, I'm going to be doing a Grand Alliance Destruction Force for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I've always liked the aesthetic of the Destruction minis, and I feel like my slightly grubby and grungy style of painting will work really well with those sorts of models. I've also had a large number of Ogres and Oryx sat on sprue for ages waiting to be tackled. With you, me, doing Chaos, Meg doing Order, and Dan doing Death, it just made sense to do Destruction, so we can do little campaigns once the pandemic is over, and we can easily congregate again. Yes. I've been wanting to do a Destruction Force ever since the Iron Jaws were released back in the heady days of AOS 1, and with the recent reveal and subsequent release of Kragnos, it seems like the perfect time to finally do it. The fact that Dominion has been revealed, and is now released, further cements that. I've actually decided to do an Ogre Moor Tribes army last year, and I've got everything built and ready to be my lockdown army, but I got sidetracked painting Stormcast Eternals and Necrons, so this particular Stonehorn was sat in a drawer. I had a chat with a mate about how to approach painting something this size, as I've not really painted many big monsters before. As he painted an army of Ogres not that long ago, he gave me some great advice, and with that I was off. Other than metallics, pretty much everything on here is contrast paints, followed by dry brushed highlights. I decided to go for a scheme reminiscent of the stone horns of the world that was, which should allow my Thunder Tusks to really stand out. Next up is going to be a unit of Auric Brutes with jagged gore hackers, although I suspect he might change that to some of the Dominion miniatures that are coming
Cool
out.
boy.
And he figures that if he finishes the Tale of Many Warhipsters by painting Kragnos, he'll have a good mixed force that he can lead. And we've got 4 pictures to look at, but he's done such an excellent job on that fur in particular, and I really love the skin of the Ogres, of the Beast Riders themselves.
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks awesome. I mean, I've got a soft spot for ogres anyway because my one foray into the world that was with an ogre army at the time, many years ago. So yeah, I just think these look fab. Like that's great.
The face of the thing it's riding, I have no idea about whatever these things are. My knowledge.
The Stonehorn.
The Stonehorn. It's the face on the left. It's like it's just terrifyingly awesome. Like imagine that running at you.
Yeah, you wouldn't be a happy bunny, would you, if that turned up?
No, and then the flesh underneath the fur, like the patches. It's like it's it's really good.
Wow. Yeah. That's where the edge of the kind of the skin, and then you've got the branding as well, like the orc marks on it. Orc, what am I talking about? Ogre marks on it, like of the Moor, the Great Moor. That's great. That looks so good. Nice one, Chris.
Next up,
Hey.
we have some Nurglings. We have some 5 Nurgling bases from Lucas. I couldn't find his Instagram handle. I do apologize, Lucas. Do let me know and I'll put it in for the next one. Or any kind of handle that I could put on there for people to go and follow and look at. So that's my bad. I do apologize, but I I've just written here that these are beautifully disgusting, and they just look so jolly and wonderful. And what I really, really like about these is how they are distinct, but also meld into the bases that he's done there. Like they're very clearly stand out against the bases, but they're also very much part of the scenery, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they look like they have actually materialized out of the Garden of Nurgle, covered in filth.
Like the gooply goop on the bottom. That's the
technical term.
The goobly goop on the bases. It's just awesome.
Well, those are Sector Mechanicus bases, right? And I love the rusting, like the damage works. So as you say, it really just brings the whole model together in one. Like it just looks lovely. And yeah, you're right. Like Nurglings. I mean, Nurglings are fun. They're fun little, jolly, happy little guys. And I think it definitely comes across with these.
Definitely. Cannot agree more. Next up, we have your friend and mine, Mr. Richard Gwatkin at Gwatkin Gaming, who has done Alpha Legion. He's done 10 Cultists and 1 Contemptor Dreadnought. Or has he? They could be anyone. Or they could be Alpha Legion. Or they could be no Legion.
Yeah.
The thing I love about these is how vibrant the blue is, and the edge highlights are just so clean. That these are people who take pride in their gear, as it were.
No, it's like the blue, especially on the. I'll be interested to see if when Rich paints his Legionnaires, like what that looks like as well, because I think it on the Cultist, like it looks awesome on the Contemptor up against the silver metallic armor. But then on the Cultist, like as well, it just really pops against the dark kind of black and brown kind of crap that Cultists just cover themselves in to be like, yes, please give us favour, which is good.
The red eyes on the Dreadnought and the missiles really pop because of the blue as well. It's really nice.
Yeah, it really stands out.
Cultist eyes as well. They're red. That's so cool.
I'm always a fan of a well highlighted Dreadnought hand as well, because
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
I put a lot of effort. I remember when I did my Telemon in white on my Custodes for my Solar Watch, and like just going around all those little, you know, the fingers and the angles on it. It takes a while, but if you get it right like this, yeah, it really looks good.
Definitely. Right. Next up, we have the Knight of Zen with the Desert Lions, his own custom chapter of Space Marines. And this is Aggressor Squad Mamba. They've been named and everything. So this is Simon Jones, otherwise known as the Knight of Zen. His passion project for this year is to put together a force for his custom Space Marine chapter, the Desert Lions. This would be a great way to motivate him to keep it up. His first squad is, as I say, Aggressor Squad Mamba, which leads me to believe we're going to get some real narrative focus with these guys. And I love this color scheme. I remember staring at it for ages when I first saw it. It's almost like the Talon scheme in a way. And it perfectly encapsulates with the white and the black. It's that hard contrasting trim against what is effectively desert camo. Which if you saw these guys on a desert planet, you would probably think you were imagining the floating white shoulder pads, and then suddenly Boltstorm gauntlets open up in front of you, and it would be a bad day for everybody.
Well, I was going to say you don't see many like desert themed. I mean, maybe I'm talking out my backside, but certainly I've not seen many desert themed Space Marine chapters. Right, like you get them in the God because of Talon. You get them like in some other armies now and again, but like rarely do you see it as a Space Marine chapter. You get a lot of like ice themed Space Marine chapters because of the Space Wolves. But actually, this is really cool. Like it's just nice to see that color scheme done on power armor.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like Space Marine, any sort of camo is so cool. You don't see it enough. It's a terrifying idea that even though these Space Marines are usually so bright and proud, you can see them coming some miles away, that these ones could technically sneak up on you and then shoot you and punch you in the face.
I like the red like the cord, the rope as well. It
Yeah.
it really stands out against this kind of the sand or the khaki, I guess, of the armor.
Definitely.
And
No,
the
I love
white.
it.
It's so hard to do white nicely. I mean, the white on
Yeah.
the helmet is so good.
As Simon said, like what are these a successor to anybody in particular, any particular chapter, or
I haven't got that in my notes.
that's what. Well, no, I'm not. I just mean I asked that not to trip you up, but Simon, let us know. Like, let us know the story. I want to know. Like you say, Josh said about the narrative. I want to know, like, what are Aggressive Squad Mamba all about? Like, where are we? Is everything going to be like snake named? Because like I'm thinking of like the Black Mamba, right? That's the very poisonous snake in Africa, right? So I'd be interested. We're going to get like a Squad Cobra, and I don't know. I'm really excited. I think
No.
it's I love custom chapters. So this is awesome.
Well, good news, Adam, because we've got another custom chapter up next. We have
Oh my lord.
the Knights of, and I don't know how to say this, and he's given an explanation. It's Irish Gaelic. Now I'm just going to say the Knights
Makkah?
of Makkah. Yeah, or
Makkah, yeah.
anyway.
My Gaelic. I don't know Gaelic, but my understanding of pronunciation would be Makkah or something like that.
You'll also be
Oh,
pleased, gentlemen, because this is from Chewy0, and he has said he just wants to start off by saying he's a big fan of my channel. He's on the Discord. He is a valued Patreon, so thank you very much, Chewy. And he also loves the Conclave podcast.
Hey, thank you very much. Thanks, Chewy.
Awesome.
In short,
We love you too.
In short, my project would be a custom Space Marine chapter, Ultima founding, so all Primaris. I've been planning and tinkering with for some time now, but never really got around to starting it, so this seems like the perfect motivation. Also, I plan to make more use of the airbrush. Currently, I've only used it for priming, but I aim to do basing and some highlighting with it. I know that goes against your ethos of contrast, haha, I just don't have the control to make contrast work on armor, which is absolutely fair enough. It's a tricky thing to master, the armor panels thing. I will do a video specifically on it, don't you worry, everybody. The chapter is called The Knights of Makkah, bit of a mouthful, and is a tribute to my hometown of Armagh, Armagh. Armagh?
Armagh, as in County Armagh, as in Northern Ireland.
Yeah. Otherwise known as Ard Mahaka in Irish Gaelic. I'm sorry if I'm butchering this for all the Irish people out there.
I'm trying to find out the Irish pronunciation of that word. Give me a second.
You're on it. You're the man in the chair. The town has over 1,000 years of history. I'm particularly inspired by a period known as the Ulster cycle, when there were many ancient heroes giving inspiration for my chapter characters. Makkah herself was an ancient Irish goddess and is often identified as a raven. Did I mention they'd be Raven Guard successors? Boom. A bit about myself. I started playing 40k in the 90s with 2nd edition. My main army was Dark Angels, but I soon added Eldar and Guard before 4th edition. I left home to seek my fortune, and also left 40k behind, until August last year when I unboxed my old collection and started painting/repainting them. A much needed distraction from the challenges of work during the pandemic. I work for the prison service in the northeast of England. I also used all Vallejo paints except for washes because null oil, which was interesting. It was also my first time applying transfers since I started painting last year. I've been avoiding it thus far, but they seem to have turned out okay. You'll notice I chose the Black Templar cross for chapter symbol. I had considered other options, but went this way for 2 reasons. 1, for the ease of availability, and 2, as the cross is a very common symbol throughout Ireland, often representing St. Patrick, although he lived approximately 1500 years after the Ulster cycle events I'm taking inspiration from. I like the idea of my chapter having both pagan and Christian influences. Also, if they ever release a Primaris Black Templar upgrade sprue, I'll have some additional options for customization.
That's awesome. Like, that's just so cool. My brief research has indicated to me that the Irish pronunciation, and people who speak Irish Gaelic, forgive me for this, or sorry, people who speak Gaelic, because there's Irish Gaelic and Scottish Gaelic are their own things. It's like Ardwaha if it's Armagh in Irish. So maybe this is like Maha. I don't know. You know what? Let us know. Let us know because I'm actually really interested, and I love the idea of tying together like lots of that kind of the history of where you're from and kind of something that's very personal to you and tying that into your chapter as well. Like I said, I love custom chapters, so I really am looking forward to seeing this develop. Like, and that color scheme is lovely. Like the red just pop, or the orangey red just pops.
What I really like is that the base is green, then you've got the white crest and the orange armor, so it's the Irish flag as well, which is so it's just the orange. Yeah, as you say, the orange is so bright, really pops. It's so cool.
I hadn't even put that together. That's well spotted there, Rich.
All right, guys, I'm here for you.
No, you've done a really great job.
What if that must be his intention?
Yeah, I love orange. I wish there was more orange Space Marines out there.
Yeah.
I often always thought like salamanders should have a lot more orange in their scheme.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they're green, isn't it? When you think about it, like I get the whole reference because I guess it's like salamander, dragon skin, I guess, but yeah, orange. It's a lava planet. Like, go for the orange. But no, this is awesome, and I you know what I really hope. I think you can get like Celtic cross transfers and stuff like that as well. Like Chu was saying, he wants to mix in the kind of the mix of the pagan and Christian iconography and the kind of history of Armagh and of I guess of Ulster and Northern Ireland as well. Like, it'd be really cool to see some of that on there. Like, I think that's awesome. And yeah, upgrade sprees for stuff like Black Templars will give you loads of options for like robed warrior monks as well. That's just great. I love stuff like this. Sorry, I sound like I'm gushing now, but I do. I just love stuff like this.
Yeah, just having it over fluff is so cool.
Well, I've got good news because next up we have an absolute madman who is doing Knights.
Oh my words! Look at this guy.
So this is Swamp Thing from Things That Fall Out of My Head. The reason I've called it Swamp Thing is it is a Helverin, but again, I've got some notes. So, he said, very pleased with how this guy turned out. Nicknamed him Swamp Thing, and he's also doing a brief overview video for his YouTube channel. So, guys, go and check out Things That Fall Out of My Head on YouTube as well as on Instagram. But he can't confirm when that will be. But just, subscribe to him so you're ready for when that video drops, because he's been nicknamed Swamp Thing until he comes up with an actual in-game designation. And his first few armigers are inspired by the idea of abandoned engineering. The idea of these war machines standing in nature while nature does its best to assimilate them. I'm a big fan of the artist Simon Stalenhag and the TV show Tales from the Loop, so I tried to incorporate some of that aesthetic into my models. Highlights and tiny details were kept to a minimum in favour of the feel of the model, so I used a rich green to shade panels and metallics, while the armour panels were painted a neutral grey so as not to overwhelm the model. The flowers, grasses and moss are all by Gamer Grass, while the carapace and base are painted with GW's texture paints all over paints. All other paints and washes are from the Army Painter range. I was in two minds as to whether to include flowers growing from gun barrels and exhausts. Who knows, I may still go back and add them in.
No, that's fab. So I totally get where he's going with the kind of the Simon Stalenhag look. I don't know if you guys know he's a Swedish artist. Have you guys ever seen his stuff?
No, I haven't.
So Simon, you almost certainly, if people don't know who Simon Stalenhag is, go and Google him. But you've almost certainly seen some of his stuff because it always floats around Reddit and stuff like that. So he does these kind of like a lot of landscapes where there's all this kind of like futuristic technology, but it's just like in the scene, and oftentimes it's like wrecked and it's like got nature growing over it, and it's like kids playing in front of like, a bit like this, right? It's like kids playing in front of like a war, what looks like it could be like a war robot that's just like broken down and has like trees growing out of it and stuff. So it's just very cool. It's very like futuristic but also retro in a way. So yeah, and Tales from the Loop is a TV show that I think is on Amazon Prime that is based on his artworks. It's like a series of stories based on his artworks. So I totally get where he's coming from, and it looks so cool. The other thing it reminds me of is, again, I'm just making TV references today, so I apologise, Warhipster, but the Laputa Castle in the Sky, the Studio Ghibli movie.
Yeah.
If anyone's ever seen that, when there's like the robots and they go to Laputa and they're all like they have the one with all flowers growing over it because it's just shut down. It very much reminds me of that, and I think it's so cool. I love the idea of it suddenly just waking up after many years and sort of going off and doing its thing. Although I suppose a knight is not technically a robot, right? There's a dude in there, or there's a machine spirit at the very least.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I love it so much. Next up,
the colours of the flowers.
The flowers are really cool. Next up, we have more nature. We have an Achillean Leviathan from Paul Naskow.
That's cool.
Now, this is one of my favourite models that Games Workshop has ever produced because it's crazy. It's a giant battle turtle with soulless elves riding it. Exactly. He's done a fantastic job. And what I didn't realise, I always knew it was called a Leviathan. I didn't know it was called an Achillean Leviathan. And those are two of my favourite contrast paints.
Yeah, Achillean green and Leviathan blue. Very nice, very nice.
I didn't realise they were both in the same name of the model. So that was a fun discovery for me. He's using the Iron Rack skin, which I believe is the box art one, which is kind of all the blue robes and stuff that you'll see on the infantry and stuff, but he's conquered this beautifully because it is such a big model. It's like, and it's a difficult one, I think, to conquer easily, as it were, just because it is that he's got that really smooth finish on the shell, which is just it's a really good skill, and it's really well executed, particularly when you then have to add the chariot on the back, which he's then also done a really good job of capturing the colours on that, I feel.
It looks awesome. I love the fact that because you've got that kind of contrast between the naturalistic colours on the Leviathan itself, and then the kind of the greys and blues and metallics on the, what's that called, a howdah? Is that what it's called? That thing that's like on the back of an animal, a howdah. It's really nice. Like, it gives that really nice contrast between the naturalistic and then this thing that's been kind of bolted on for the purposes of making war. I also love the guy with the drums at the back. I mean, this is just my unfamiliarity with AOS models, but I love the guy at the back of it. It's just like got a drum. He's just like doing his drumming to like kind of take everybody to war. So they're like, we don't need a solo. I don't know, give me an elf name. We don't need a solo. Alaris. Put the drum kit down.
Again, it's just the skin on the fins and stuff. It's so like that you can really capture the texture of it. So cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
It's excellent work, Paul. Seriously, really good job. Next up, we have Mez with a Redemptor Dreadnought and an Invicta Tactical Warsuit, which I've forgotten to write in, so we'll do it live, people.
This is like well up your street, Reza. Like the Invicta.
Look at the helmet on that thing. That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. And the way he's just like done the well, it's not really a baby carrier anymore, is it? It's like he's got I guess a screen. I don't know how you describe that. That's amazing. I love the helmet.
It looks like a transformer. I hope Ryan doesn't take this the wrong way when I say this. It reminds me of like something from Power Rangers in a really good way, like a Megazord.
It feels very like the colors very I don't know,
like 90s. It's like that it's like that 90s GW, like big blue, big red, yellows, like just proper vibrant colors. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I've put in my notes about it, is that it gives me serious Retro Hammer vibes. When I opened these pictures, I was like, they didn't have Redemptor Dreadnoughts in the 90s. And that is only a compliment, because it looks absolutely stunning. And you can't quite see it on the picture. Fortunately, there was a bit of cutting involved, but he has done both the weapon options on both walkers, which is
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I can see the gun down the bottom of the Invicta.
I'd love to know how he did the head on the Invicta and how he's kind of converted it. Cause
yeah, what head is that?
I'm definitely going to be stealing it. I'm just saying, if I can.
Ryan,
so cool.
That's his real name. Ryan, if you're watching, I hope you are. Message Reza Prime on Instagram and tell him how you did it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Gorgeous.
And you know what? It's one of those things where like the Invicta Warsuit Baby Carrier is always a bit of a controversial model because you either sort of love it or you hate it. I fall on the spectrum of being like okay with it, but I like to see people's conversions. I think turning it into like the cockpit and like here where you've got the head, that looks so cool.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
I need one.
You need one, yeah. Can you make one, Ryan? Can you make one for Reza, please? It'll make him very happy.
I have a box for you to use.
So.
Ooh, yes.
Is Adam's one?
Another bunch of stuff that Adam's painted. No. Next up we have Flearoy Brown, Brandon.
Good name.
Who's painted 3 Plague Marines, and he sent me a load of pictures, so I had to include more. But he's done a fantastic job of making them look gross.
Yeah. They look, you know. Go on.
I was just going to say it's this chap on the far right of the screen, the face on the pauldron. I adore it. I love it so much. It looks sticky.
Yes, yeah, it does. It does look sticky
in a good way. Like you want your Death Guard in certain areas to look sticky, and that's exactly what it does. And it's I love it.
You know what I like about this as well? It's bright Death Guard. So I mean, I have a Death Guard army. You've got Blight Lord Terminator here. You won't be able to see it very well, but I'll hold it up. And I've gone for like the whole like grungy, grimy, dark, like really take the green down. I use a lot of the Rakarth Flesh because I like to have a callback to their original, pre-heresy, what the Death Guard used to have, and that sort of white, more predominantly sort of pale bone or white scheme. But what I really like about these is you see a lot of Death Guard armies kind of like mine, where it's gone for that grimy. I like this where it's still grimy, as you say, it's still sticky, but it's like bright. Like these guys look like they've come from whatever part of the Garden of Nurgle is filled with jungle plants. That is where these chaps hang out, right? That they are like the tropical diseases. They specialize in the stuff that you get bitten by a little fly and then your intestines fall out your backside. That kind of stuff, right? Like the real nasty tropical diseases. So I don't know, Brendan, if you have a theme for your Death Guard yet, and if I'm stepping on your toes here, then tell me to go away. But yeah, I'd love that. That'd be well cool, seeing like this kind of more sort of bright, more brightly coloured Death Guard, kind of leaning into that sort of side of it. That kind of tropical theme of around the sort of the Garden of Nurgle.
Absolutely. Next up.
Oh.
Matt paints minis. Submitted this morning.
It's a very angry duck.
He's painted some angry ducks. He's painted some Raptorics. And they are from the Warcry set.
What Raptorics? I've heard of these before. Oh, okay.
So in Warcry, there's a box that you have these Chaos Raptorics, and you also have the Chaos Furies as well, which you will recognise. You'll have seen them around. Yeah. They're the ones that I think make it into some demon lists. I will probably be painting some Furies for my demons because Be'lakor can have buffs if he's near some of them, I think. But yes, this is Matt. Matt has painted these. And he's done this using contrast paints. He says that he improved as they went on with the blending of the skeleton horde belly and basilicanum grey body. Attempted a bit of wet blending on the bones with Gore-grunter fur at the base. You can see it in the top left one just there, and he's done a really, really good job with it, I think. Yeah,
they look lovely. They look really good. I like the I'm going to take a guess and probably be wrong, but is that Fugan? No, not Fugan Orange. I've got it in front of me.
Gryph-hound Orange?
Gryph-hound Orange. There we go. Gryph-hound Orange on the wingtips. It looks to me like it is that, and I love it. Looks really good.
Yeah, and he's also very, very pleased with the eyes. And I think he's done an absolutely spot-on job with the eyes. They're very, very neat, which is always the hardest part to do, right?
Oh yeah.
And they pop, yeah.
And yeah, I just think you've done a fantastic job there, Matt. Absolutely.
I really like the bases as well. I really like I know it's like maybe moving on from the models themselves, but like what I'm saying about this is, considering there's like a lot of grey here, right? Like it's a really good one where actually the model could kind of just blend into the base, and then you kind of lose a lot of the effect. But because of all the dry brushing and what I'm assuming is like astro granite that's been layered on the bottom there with a really nice bit of dry brushing to really bring out the features, it gives the whole thing that, first of all, the Raptorics themselves stand out, and second of all, it gives the whole thing like dynamic movement. Like it looks like they are swooping in over that kind of barren ground, which I really like.
Absolutely. No, it's a very, very, very good point. Yeah, no, and this might sound like a throwaway piece of feedback, like I can't think of anything else, but you've done the rims of the base really well as well. Like the one in the top left looks like it's glowing, but it isn't. And that's just how smooth you've got that coat. And again, it's one of the things I struggle the most with is getting that bit smooth. I often find myself having to thin down my paint so much that I have to do like 3 or 4 layers because I never get that right, and you've got it absolutely spot on these. So that, I mean, I know it sounds like I couldn't think of anything else to say, but no, I'm genuinely really, I'm impressed with the whole model, as I said, with the eyes and the way you've blended that the Gorgrunter fur into the bones and all that kind of stuff. But I really love the rim of those bases. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it looks fab. It looks really good.
Right, we've got 2 more. One you've seen before. Is this guy?
Yes, I mean it's all right. It's okay. It's
5 out of 10.
You know.
I think it's the weakest of the entries. Now I'm going to point out all of the mistakes with whatever this guy has done. So, no. No, I mean this was my Be'lakor.
The sword every single time. The sword.
It's offensively good. Like it's just again like the fact that you've got, and I don't want to heap too much praise on you while you're on video with me, but like it's a prime example of a model where the predominant colors are black and grey, right? Really, so it could all just be quite kind of dull and blend in together, and you know, it's still, you know, it's a cool model, it's a great sculpt, but it's a prime opportunity for someone to just slap loads of black and grey on it and it just be kind of dull, but it doesn't. It really pops, like and not just on the metallic standing out, like the blending on the wings into the lighter body. The fact you've got the claws on the wings are that kind of bluish. I mean, is that a metallic or is that?
No, that's just contrast paint.
Yeah, but it looks almost like a kind of metallic bone. Like I just
Shut up.
And then Rich is gonna you know say it, and I'll agree with him. The sword and the sort of the smoke / what might be his soul coming out of his body on the I nearly said Chaos Marine, on the Chaos Warrior on the base. It's just fab. Like the blending of the light blue into the purple. It just, mate, I mean, as with pretty much all of your contrast stuff, I mean, all of your stuff, incredibly annoyingly, it looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, 5 out of 10 still though.
5 out of 10. I know I could do better. I do.
I will say one thing, not about your painting, just about the sculpt that I've just noticed, which I really like, is clearly in the realm of chaos there is only one guy who makes armor, because that shoulder plate and to some extent the bit on the leg looks a hell of a lot like what Mortarion has on the Barbaran plate when he became a demon prince. So I wonder if they've just got one dude like working in the realm of chaos who's just like, yeah, I'll put together some armor for you, don't worry, I've got a nice design, it works. What do you want, green? Nah, silver? Yeah, alright, no worries, Be'lakor, I'll get that sorted for you, mate. You know, like that kind of thing, right? Just one guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was a hell of a lot of fun to do. And he was a great way for me to kick off my tale. I always like to start with the big Amazing. Centerpiece model, and then paint all of the gribblies to go around it. So, you know, I've got some plans for how I'm going to do that. Because I'm going to be adding all of the Chaos Demons, but yeah, he was unbelievably fun to do. The issue is I did Kragnos afterwards, and I can't decide between which of them which I enjoyed more. I really loved doing Mr. Be'lakor. He was great fun. But thank you very much for your kind words.
I'm gonna have to watch. So obviously, I've given away then. I haven't watched the tutorial for Be'lakor because I don't own the model. But I will have to watch it, even though I haven't got the model specifically for that bloody rock base. Like I normally just throw some basilicanum grey and a bit of dry brush in. That thing looks like it's like, you know, very naturalistic flint rock. I need to like learn how to do that.
With added
God,
lava.
you're annoying. Yeah, I know. I can see lava in it as well. What is wrong with you?
I do apologise. No, I mean, there was an interesting debate for me with this because I was contemplating adding Mordant Earth to the rest of the base. But the reason I didn't do that was because all of the lava trails that are on Be'lakor, they're sculpted in, and you cannot control how Mordant Earth crackles.
Yeah.
So I was like, because you don't want it to look weird, because you'd like it ideally for the pools to come out from where the lava trails into the ground. But
yeah, where it's sculpted. Yeah.
I was perfectly happy with what I did end up doing anyway. Right, are you ready for the last one? Because the last one is in a slightly different format because he sent it to me in a PDF, but it's a beautiful PDF. Are you ready?
Oh, here we go.
So, here it is. My Necron Idiots by Darren Burdock-Latter.
Wins by the title.
Aged 47 and a half.
It's show and tell, people. It's show and tell. Well done, Desmond. Come to the front of the class. Tell us what you've got.
So, I'll show you what he's got. He has got...
Oh, look at that.
A truly staggering amount of Necrons.
I love it.
What we've got here is we've got... so, those are Scorpec Destroyers, Scarab Bases, Warriors, what's it called? The Mancer.
Crypto Thralls, a Plasmancer, a Royal Warden.
There's even more.
There's an Overlord in there, yeah. More warriors. More Scarabs.
And these blades on these Scorpec Destroyer, he dropped a picture of them into Discord. Again, very valued Patreon member. Thank you very much, Daz. But these blades, I love. And this one in the middle that we can see here, how it just looks like it's like overloading with the energy, but you've also got that fade, that kind of shadow at the top, which it makes it look so lethal and vibrant at the same time. I adore it. I cannot get enough of these. I
suspect there's been a lot of layering of what I'm going to guess is like Warpstone glow or whatever it is, and then Tesseract glow, the Necron color, because these are fab. They just look great.
In the first image, I could almost feel the power and the energy of the glow. I can almost feel it, not just see it. But like it was so bright.
As someone whose Necron army uses cracked up bases with green stuff on them, I'm a big fan. And when I say green stuff, I mean paint, not as in, moulding putty. I'm a big fan of this.
Isn't it beautiful? And that tile as well that they're all on, he's made that as well.
Bloody hell.
So, there we go.
That's great. That's really, really, really cool.
Love it.
What a great showcase of what you can do with the Necrons as well. Like, to have that kind of gold, and these guys have more of that kind of gold finish. It just looks great.
Doesn't it look fantastic? And I know that he's got some color shifting paints in there as well, on the armor, which is just fantastic. Because you can't quite make it out, because color shifting is quite difficult to photograph, but you can make out the way it's kind of adding that additional shine in certain areas. Like you can see it on here, and like it's beautiful. You've done a really, really good job on these.
No, they're great. Nice one, Dazron.
Yes, there we go.
You're A+ on the presentation as well. Love it. I love the Plasmancer. He's such a funny model with his little like, you over there, die now.
Crotchety old Necron.
Yeah.
The glow off it all is
Yeah, it does look really
radiating.
good. Crypto Thrall murder buckets.
Isn't it beautiful?
Everyone loves it.
Just all very, very well put together. Well done.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant, mate. That's fantastic. I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah, we've done that much in a month.
Silent King.
We can try and bully him in Discord.
Yeah, I'm not going to endorse the bullying of anyone into painting anything, but Silent King. Just because I want to just see it in this scheme. It'd be well cool.
So there we have it, gentlemen. A Tale of Many Warhipsters, Chapter 1, in the bag. I promised you some high-quality hobby. Did you expect it to be as high quality?
My tiny mind has been blown.
Yeah. It's crazy good to see what people have done. Like, just some of the effort that's gone in is insane.
The story behind some of them as well, just brilliant.
Who was your favourite?
I'm like...
The Bastillodon. Oh, sorry, I should have made it seem harder.
Out the gate,
straight. I felt like I could pick it up and it would walk.
That's a really hard. Yeah, like, I mean, the Bastillodon, I won't say because you've said it. Although it was awesome. Well done, Meg. I think my favourite is probably going to be the Helverin. Just because I've got a soft spot for that, like, Simon Snarlenhag reference. I just thought it was really cool, and I'd love to see what a whole army of knights that have that as a theme looks like. But to say all the other stuff in there it was like actually a really hard choice to kind of pick a favorite because they're all brilliant in their own ways as well. I mentioned it when we were talking before we recorded, but the Armagh themed Marines with the kind of the mix of the background of the iconography of the area and the history, that again is really cool. So yeah, really hard choice you've made us do there. Apart from Rich, he's just like, Bastillodon, I like turtles.
Dinosaurs, me, done, happy.
You're that kid from the like viral video from about 10 years ago. I like turtles.
Oh God.
I'm choosing to remain neutral. I'm Switzerland because I think everyone's done a fantastic job.
Boring, just choose your own model.
I would never choose my own model.
Bellicor was really good.
Yeah, whoever painted that Bellicor has got a really good idea about what they do with the contrast paints. I wonder who that could be.
Yeah, that Bellicor, despite being 5 out of 10, I think I think probably
it's all right.
I mean, if I agree that Bellicor is 5 out of 10, then I'm saying everybody, and I say that it's the ferret, then I'm saying everybody else is less than 5 out of 10. And that's simply not true. I think everybody has done a fantastic job. It's impossible for me to pick.
Yeah, keep them coming.
Absolutely, yes. So, the tale has begun. Your characters are introduced. The players are active. The engines of war are engineing.
The board is set. The pieces are moving.
Yeah.
Engineing is your description.
I was trying to avoid saying the board is set, the pieces are moving, but it's probably the most accurate because this is Warhammer.
Yeah.
The tale has begun. Are you excited? I'm enjoying what we're telling here.
I want to see more and more.
Yeah, well,
yes, definitely. Yeah.
There's going to be so much more, and I'm going to start with you, Rich. Chapter 2. Yes. What are you going to do next?
Well, you did something big, so I'm going to do something big. I'm going to do my Baneblade.
Hey.
Big boy. He's we've already named him. He's the Fat Prince. So
nice.
Yeah. I took that inspiration from Adam, and I'm going to paint this bad boy. No idea where I'm going to start. This would definitely be the biggest model I've done with contrast, so it might take a while, but we've got a month. So
I like the fact you said you took inspiration from me, so like I am the Fat Prince. No. So thanks for that.
That's what I meant.
I am George Augustus, Prince Regent, and the Fat Prince from the early 1800s, brought back to life, and now painting Warhammer.
Excellent. Adam, what are you going to do next?
Oh, you're going to make me commit to it. I will finish those bloody Trueborn. I'll do that because I promised that last time. But no, I will do Morven Val, primarily because I need to get her painted, and also because there's someone else had already done Morven Val, so I need to get my one going. I will probably have a Hospitaller, a Dialogus, and a unit of Celestian Sacrosancts, all for the sisters, all based up, all looking real shiny and cool. And if it comes out in time, because I don't know when it's going to be released, given we're all talking about big things, I mean, it's about as big as I can get for the sisters, I will try and do a Castigator tank as well, their new tank model.
Wow, so much more than I've committed to.
But a Baneblade could kill all of them, right?
Yeah, I'll just run him over.
After all, it is a Baneblade.
He's got no faith. He's not going to do anything to the sisters. They'll be fine.
But there's memes, Adam. There is memes. I would shout down. I would shout down the microphone that it is a main, but I don't want to blow people's eardrums out. No, awesome. For chapter 2, Be'lakor now needs some underlings. So I'm going to start with those
middle management.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the best middle managers, who, angry people. I'm going to be doing a fistful of blood letters. That's what I'm going to be doing. And I know this is going to make some people being like, you're being too rough for them. I've done nothing to them. They're blood letters. They're very sturdy. They're an old kit. They go together. Absolutely no problem. Look at those. Just a fistful of blood letters. That's
also how you should measure demons in fistfuls.
I think so. I'll be taking 1 fistful of blood letters and 2 fistfuls of demonettes and a truckload of horrors, for example. I feel like that's how you should be able to.
A bucket of nurglings.
A bucket of nurglings, yeah, exactly. Yes, no, I'm going to be doing blood letters. So again, I'll do another video how I'm going to paint them. But yes, Be'lakor needs some troops now to lead into battle to kill my favourite characters in Age of Sigmar again.
Womp,
womp. Why no one out there, I'm talking to you people out there who all said Broken Realms Be'lakor was a great book. Now, it is a great book, but did you have to do me like that? I'm not going to spoil too much, right? But come on. Seriously? Why?
I enjoyed it.
I'm staring right down the camera. These guys are on a separate camera, but I'm imploring you, everybody out there who was like, Broken Realms Be'lakor's a brilliant book. Why? Anyway,
just you are starting to sound like our good friend Quipster, who gets annoyed whenever the custodies are in a book and don't act like just trampling everything in their path. So you be careful. You got to avoid that.
It's just a character of mine who's very dear to my heart. Bad things happen to him, and I'm sad. Mostly, I'm lashing out because of my sadness and depression. I mean, Gardas is fine. He's my favourite. But, I recommend reading Broken Realms Be'lakor. All you Hallowed Knights fans out there, be prepared, because it's not going to be a fun read. Anyway, yes, I will be painting a fistful of blood letters. I'm also very, very excited for Dominion. Unfortunately, there's no chaos in the Dominion box, so I won't be able to incorporate that into my Legion of the First Prince army. But that's not what this is for. So, yes. The last order of business. We've discussed Chapter 1. We've reviewed Chapter 1. We've read the tales of how they've begun. We've set up an interesting premise for Chapter 2. So, now comes the orders of business. So, we are going to be setting a deadline of the 21st of July, week commencing the 21st of July. So much like this one was the week commencing the 14th of June, you'll have week commencing the 21st of July to get your Chapter 2 miniatures into me. Again, similarly, email whatever you like, text, video, pictures of the miniatures to therealwarhipster@gmail.com, and I'll throw this up on the screen somewhere, probably over the top of our faces. So cover that one more time. 21st week commencing the 21st of July. You need to get your second chapter of the Tale of Many Warhipsters in that week, and then we'll do another video like this, and we'll be joined by a guest next month. I think there'll be 4 of us on here because the IT has just about survived. So let's add an extra camera in and see if we can just push OBS over the edge to where it just gives us a nice 12 frames per second or something like that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for submitting all of those pictures, and thank you so much for putting all the effort in. It's been incredible. You've made our afternoon of filming this amazing. It's so much fun to talk to these guys anyway, but it's a lot of fun to look at all of your hobby out there, and I really hope you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed painting, and I hope you're looking forward to Chapter 2 of A Tale of Many Warhipsters. Good luck, and we'll see you next month. Happy wargaming.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel, and you'd like to support me further, like these legends and bosses that you can see on the screen before you, you can do so. Head to patreon.com/Warhipster or head to ko-fi.com/Warhipster. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.